Okay, so let's see the practical app you are going to develop at the end of these lessons. So this is the source code you will be developing, and once you run it you will see a web application, and this is a survey system you are going to develop, a real world survey system, and this is a complete project where the admin can log in, can register if they want, or they can log in using their previous credentials, uh, likewise, and sign in, and then admin will be taken to the admin dashboard, which has lots of options such as to define the questions. These are all coming from the database dynamically, and you will learn how to add, edit, delete the data and populate the data dynamically, likewise, and define the questions so the data will appear dynamically. And then you will learn how to create settings pages and save the data to the database once again, and see who are the respondents who has taken this survey, and with the log information. You will learn how to create sophisticated search dashboards, and you will learn about how to filter data and search, where admin can find information about different users who has taken the survey. So and then if I log out, and then a normal user, if a normal user comes to the home page, a normal user can start taking the survey. A user can register if needed, or if not, a user can take it anonymously. User will be able to take this anonymously. Let's say if this is test test2 user, so test2 at, so, and if user says no, I don't want to register, and if user says next, then the survey will start anonymously, and all the data is coming from the database. So you learn about connecting to a remote database, which is not in this computer, it's on a remote server. So you will learn how to do that, and then you will learn how to take the survey questions, and there will be multiple survey questions. So I will just fast forward this. So I fast forwarded the questions, I just click next and answered them. And final question is what is the state. So if the user says okay, this is the state, and click next, and these are the questions I answered. So and then the user or the respondent can review them and submit the answers. So then the data will go into the remote database. So you will learn about how to save it, and click next, and then it takes the user or the respondent back to the home page. So this is the app you will be developing at the end of these lessons. And the specialty of this app is it's a data driven app, and it's completely dynamic, and all the data is coming from the database, and there is admin dashboard, a sophisticated admin dashboard, and a separate user sessions. You will learn the complete source code from the scratch to develop this. So let's go and develop this application now. Let's start doing it now. Hi everyone, welcome to ASP.NET Complete Project Survey System Part 8 Start Survey Page. This is a continuation of a complete project, and we'll be doing practicals similar to industry level developers. So make sure to look at the previous lessons as well before you do this. We'll be using these tools for this lecture, and these are the prerequisites. Make sure to cover them before you start with this lecture. So in this session, you will learn about the start survey page. So this is a survey system, and there will be a starting survey page. As usual, we are going to do practical demonstrations. So now let's go and do the practical demonstrations. So this is the output which we have developed so far until up to the previous lesson. So in this lesson, we will continue from here. In the last lesson, we added green color here. Let's start by slightly changing the color. Let's try put, let's say, light blue color into that first. So just click here the background color, and then get this and put a suitable color and click OK. And let's when you run this, you will get that background color. So now in this lesson, our focus is about the start survey page. So now let's create a new ASP page. So let's right click on the Solution Explorer on the project. Actually, right click and say add a new item, and what we want is ASP page with master page. So web form with master page. So if you can't see this here, in the search bar over here, just type master, then these options will come. So let's select web form with master page, because we want this ASP page to have the same template in, as per our master page. So let's put start survey and its ASP page and click add. And then when you select start page with master, it's asking to select which master page. So select the master page and click OK. Then, as you are aware, when it creates the page, you will, if you remember when we create the previous home page, similar to that, you will get the two content elements to match the two content placeholders in the master page. So if you are not sure about it, you have to look at the previous lessons, then only you will understand what we are mentioning here. So now let's immediately put, let's say, a message over here, and let's start designing this page. So what we will do is in this new start survey page, we will go to the design, and over here in the main content area at the top, let's type the heading of this. Right? Let's type the heading, and let's look at the source. Once we do that, okay, you can see it has added a paragraph, and then let's select this, and let's select it as, let's say, heading size 3, and then you can give some you can make some other changes as well. But now let's run and see whether this works now. But when we run this project, it will not run this page, it will run the home page, because we have set the home page to be the starting page. So because of that, even if you run the master page, even if you run the start server page, it will run the home page. So what we have to do is we have to put a link into the start server page from the home page. So because in the home page, if you look here, we have the start survey button, which we developed in the previous lesson. So what we have to do is into this hyperlink, because this button we have put it into the hyperlink in the previous lesson. So you can go to the source code of the home page after clicking that button. Then you can see anchor tag, the hyperlink. Now over here you can say start survey page, the page name start survey.asp. So when the user click on the button, it will go to that page. So now let's run and see whether it works. So let's click this and see what's going to happen. So click on the start survey, and it loads that page. So that is why we had it as a hyperlink. So now the home start survey home page opens. So now let's do few more things. Let's add more into this start survey page. Also, something very important for you to notice is, if you go to the source code of this page, you will see that is now inside the main content, whatever the heading you put. So that is what we want, because we want this to be the main content of this page. So now let's do a few more things. Let's add a few more things into this start survey page. Let's make the background color into that light blue color, just to make it consistent. So background, and let's put that, and then let's add more options into the start survey page. So now let's say when the user is starting a survey, if you want the user's email, so I click the enter button, but then that is also, the background is green color, so I just want to make it white in the next line. Plus I don't want any heading sizes, so let's look at it. So let's try to make it a normal line. And then let's say we want to get the user's email before the user starts the survey. So we can say enter your email, and then in front of that we want the user to enter the email. So let's go to the toolbox and let's say that we want a text box, and then we will give the ID of this text box, plus we will just select this, enter your email and make it bold, and then let's give a ID into this text box because we need to refer it from the C# code. So let's give the ID, let's select it and let's give the ID as text box email because it's to enter the email address. And now let's do one more thing. Let's say when we run this, we want to validate this, and to make sure that the user always enters the email. So that means we have to put a validation controller, that is one thing, and then we need a button after this. So let's add those parts now. Also, let's say that we want to ask from the user before we do the validation. Let's say we want to ask from the user a question like, do you want to quickly register into this? So in this survey system, it is optional for the user to register. So when I say user, in the ER diagram in the database, we call this as respondents. So let's use the word respondent. So the let's say respondent user. So when the respondent user comes to this page, it's optional for him to register, him or her to register. So we can ask this question, do you want to register? If the respondent user says yes, we can register him. So for that, if no, we can directly start the survey. Now for this, we have to go to the toolbox and add radio buttons to get that option, right? So let's add 2 radio buttons, right? And then let's give the text of each one. Let's say yes, and let's say this one, let's say no as the text. So do you want to register, yes or no? Okay, and then let's click on this and let's keep some space in between. So now let's run and see. So if we run this, this will appear, and then below this, but one thing, when we run this, but okay, even if we run the start survey page, as you are aware, it will first run the home page, and then let's click the start survey, and it's asking this question. So if I say yes and no, so now it's allowing me to select both the radio buttons. So we have to avoid this by putting these radio buttons into a group. So let's do it now, so that then only it will allow us to restrict it into one selection. So let's do it now. So let's put them into a radio button group. So there's a property called group name. So just click on each radio button and put the same group name. As you can see in the property palette, right hand side bottom, group name, let's say register, let's say register radio button group, right? Register radio button group. So then for the second radio button also, put the same group name. Then only it will belong, both of them will belong to the same group, and then only it will restrict the selection into only one radio button. So once you put it into a radio button group, if you click on the start survey and yes, no, so now it allows the user to select only one. Now let's put a couple of buttons at the bottom, like next button and cancel button. So below this, after the radio buttons, let's press enter, and then let's go to the toolbox and let's first put a ASP button, because when I click next, I want to do a couple of things, right? Now let's put the other button also, and let's see the difference of that when this. And let's start by giving ID into this button. So let's call it as button next, because it's the next button. And then let's quickly give the same look and feel to this. That means the appearance wise, let's put the text as white, and then let's put the background into the color of your choice. Okay, and then let's put another button for cancel. So because it's a ASP button, you can also the background, you can, what you can do is you can cancel it. There are two options, so you can cancel it and then even you can cancel the previous colors given from the toolbar. You can also select the 4 color from the property palette if you want, and then make it white because it's a ASP button. And then from over here you can select the back color from, that is also another option from the property palette, and then you can give the color of your choice. So the button is next, so let's give the text as next into this. So then also let's put a cancel button. Now the cancel button, I'm going to give some space. I'm going to put it as a HTML button, and I will tell you why in a while, right? Once we do this. So I'm going to put a HTML button for cancel, and I will explain the reason in a while. So the HTML button, so let's put the text as cancel, and let's put a background color also. So let's first, for the HTML button, you can also use it from here. So let's say foreground color white, and then you can say background color is that blue color, what you want. And now let's put a text to this as cancel. So the property for the text here is value. So you can say the value of the button property value, you can say cancel. Right. Now the question is, why did I put a ASP button to the next, and why did I put a normal HTML button for cancel? So let's see why it is now.